Okay, cool. So, all right. So yesterday, we read the module, we created a Git repo and a GitHub repo, and we started to brainstorm the architecture. So, here we go. And then the README, I put links. I put links to the module, just the list here. I put links to the GitHub repo, which yesterday I actually made the GitHub repo on my GitHub, but then I changed it. I changed it to the Learners Guild GitHub because that seemed more appropriate. And then I have a link to the YouTube channel where I'm going to be putting these recordings. Okay. So let's go back to the whiteboard, and we were, so you guys can see this, that's good, and this is, okay, is that readable? Yeah, would you like it a little bigger? No, there's a face that said yes. So, okay, so let's do this. Okay, so now those line numbers, good but not good. And this is just, you need to go. All right. So yesterday we were in the middle of going through the wireframes, right, which are just not good at that scale. And we talked about we needed a header for this sort of site name sign up login type thing. We needed a sign up and login page, which is this one here. And then for the sign up and login, we need a get to serve it and a post to process it. Then we okay, and then we had the user profile page, and so we need a get route to serve the user profile page, and then we need a get route to serve an existing post and its comments. And so let's actually start to name these routes. So let's call this one, what should we call this one? Yeah, let's call it, you think maybe with the users in front of it? I mean, if it's gonna be anything, it's probably gonna be authentication, right? We tend to separate our authentication routes from our user routes. But it's also login. So I wonder if we're going to do them both on the same. What if we just call it authentication route and like slash? Okay, and then this one can be post. And actually, let's have two different routes. One to process the login. So we'll do and one to process all right, and now the user profile page, what do you guys think of that? What route should we put there? Like that? Same thing with posts. Okay, cool. Okay, let's go back and all right, and so we have a create new posts. So we're going to need, for create new posts, we're going to need two routes there, right? We're going to need one get, like that, to serve post form. And then we're going to need a post. You can use the same route to process new post. And this one we might think about making, I don't know, maybe not. I don't know that there's much benefit in Ajax on that. Okay. Cool. So now, we have a city page. My God. Okay. So, so we need view cities or view city detail. Is there any like view? How do you get to a certain city?
There's supposed to be a link in the header. It's, I don't know. I did like a drop down menu, but
I made it on the main page. Like after people sign in, there is like 3 cities, and they can click on like splash page.
On the splash page, you post the cities? Okay.
it's confusing though because the specs say that like when somebody logs in, they automatically run to the profile page, so it gets like skipped over.
I changed that.
Your users. Okay. Right. Okay. All right. So let's go back. All right. For now, we're viewing the city detail, and so that would be a get cities ID. And users can't create cities. No, that would just be mayhem. Okay. All right, have we covered all of these? Yes. So, right. Okay. So I think that I don't want to make a new, well, we're also talking about MVP here, but I was thinking that I didn't want to make, as far as editing the post goes, I was thinking that perhaps you could edit a post when you were viewing an existing post, right? So maybe I don't need to make a new view there. Maybe I just need to make an Ajax route What do you think? And then we can also have a delete. Actually, I don't need edit there really because the put is sort of the edit. So we can do delete. And this can also be okay, and then I'm going to take these and just for organization, I'm going to put them next to the other posts ID. Okay.
I think we need an edit profile. That's the same
Okay, so let's do also a put. And shall we do this one Ajax as well? Okay. Okay. And we will not allow users to delete themselves. You can log out, but you can never leave. So, all right. So, okay. What else? What else do we need? Okay. I'm gonna all right. So just note that allow edit, allow delete with pop-up, and the user profile page allow edit. And this is going to be route differently depending on, well, not, okay. Okay. Okay, let's see, third-party APIs. Did anybody use any third-party APIs on this? I think I might use Google Places for the iconic picture of city. All right. What about dependencies? We're going to need Express, obviously. We're going to need PG Promise.
Google Play package.
Yeah, so Google Places, I've never used on the back end. I've only used on the front end, which means that you don't actually install it in Node. But let's look and see. Let's look at Google Places. So they have this web service. Yeah, it looks like it's only, yes. I mean, like when they say JavaScript, I'm 99% sure that's front-end JavaScript. Yeah, this is gonna be front-end JavaScript. Okay, so we also might use the Google Maps API to like sort of locate things, but that's not MVP, and both of those are front end.
You need some session handling.
Like that.
I use cookie session.
It's called. Is it called Cookie Session? What's it called?
Express session.
There's different package too.
Yeah, either one. I think cookie is simpler.
Okay. What was other people saying?
Passport.
Okay.
Yes, Lint, logger.
Okay. Yeah, so I like Winston for logging to file, but you guys use something else for like logging stuff, like logging, what's that? Morgan. Okay, and yes, Lint, which I actually have been lazy and still haven't got hooked up to VS Code because, okay, so, all right, anything else? Okay. All right, and so let's see. I wanna get to data modeling, but first I want to do some research on this.
There's also client session.
Wow, all you ever want to know about Node.js sessions. I'm like, all you ever want to know about Node.js. That's December 2014. Oh, okay, this is interesting. Okay, so let's just do some research here. All right. Express session is more abstract. It supports different session stores. Cookie session is a simple, lightweight, cookie-based. It's the only, you can only use cookie. All session info is stored on the client in a cookie session implementation. It's most famous for its Rails implementation. Okay. Secure cookies. I'm behind an Nginx proxy, handles SSL. I could not enable secure cookies with Express session. Note that both of the packages, okay. This was probably a misconfigured reverse proxy, all right. How and where the session, cookie session is lightweight, where the session data is stored in a cookie within the client. Express session just stores a mere session identifier within a cookie on the client end, and the session data is entirely on the server. Okay, so this second part is how sessions work in Flask, the Python one that I'm more familiar with. Cookie session is helpful in applications where no database is used on the back end. The session data cannot exceed the cookie size. Okay, so if we were planning on putting like a huge amount of data in our session, then cookie session would be restrictive because cookies have a maximum size. Okay, we probably are just going to be putting the user ID in our sessions, so that's probably not a consideration. All right, I'm guessing that most of these are going to have the same thing. In-memory storage using the session, but you can also specify other formats like the database. Cookie session is a cookie-backed storage, and it's entirely in the cookie. Got it. Okay. Do you guys have questions about this? I think I understand the difference.
Express is more robust than session.
It's just like server-side storage.
Yeah, Express session is so when you're using cookies, you are basically putting a key value pair on the client, right? And what cookie session is doing is it's actually, or you can put like a series of key value pairs also. But I think each individual cookie is one key and one value. So it's possible, I'd have to look under the hood, but it's possible cookie session just has one key, which is session. And then the value is basically an object that's been serialized into a string that gets sort of parsed out, you know, when it sends the cookie back. I'd have to look and see. We can actually look and see also. And, you know, I don't know whether it's encrypted. And, you know, if it's not encrypted, then that's a real security hole because a user can just edit the cookie and then be like, now I'm Jonathan, and I can post all sorts of like, you know, comments on, you know, as Jonathan. But okay, so that would be what the cookie session does. The Express session, instead of packaging all of the session information into the cookie and having that be on the client, it just has the client basically identify itself. Like it basically has the client has a cookie that basically says, I am associated with this session on the server. And then once you're on the server, it says, oh, okay, I see that this request that's coming in has this cookie, which tells me that it's associated with this particular session. So this request now, for this request, I'm going to use this session. But as far as what's actually in the session, so a session, you know, you want to store things like what the user's ID is and what the last page they were on and blah, 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 blah. That is stored on the server. You can either store it in memory, like just as an object, or you can store it on a database. So if you have to restart your, so, you know, if you were in a production app, you would want to do that, because if you had to restart your server, you wouldn't want your users to lose all of their session information.
I think they say specifically with Express session that the memory, like the default, just storing it in memory, should be
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Don't use the memory in production. It's a really bad call for your users. As I recall, something like that happened with Twitter, where it wasn't, I don't think it was sessions, but they were storing a bunch of stuff just in memory and not on disk, and people lost posts. Like there was actual data loss because they were just storing stuff in memory. So
What do you mean by just memory?
what memory? So when you are running a program, your variables, the data for the values for your variables are stored in the computer memory, right? So if I
In the client.
on the server. So if I say that I can get ABC. So within this node program that's running, it has a certain amount of memory assigned, right? And it's like, okay, it knows in this in the memory for this node program, ABC is associated with 5. But the minute I stop it, that ABC is not associated with 5 anywhere but the node memory, right? So now if I start it again, ABC doesn't exist because the memory was just flushed when I quit node. And it's the same thing if you have a server and you're saving the session in memory. Once you quit your server crashes, you have to restart it, all of that session information is gone. Whereas if you store it on a database, your server crashes. When you restart your server, it can pull it from the database. Cool. All right. I'm going to just so that we can have notes. So today is January 24th, and one of the things that we're doing today is discuss cookie. So after that discussion, what do we want to use?
Can I just say one more thing? Use that just for what it's worth, because it was in one of the phase 2 modules videos that client session was used, and the guy on the video, like you said, it was much more secure than cookie session.
Oh.
It had other advantages, but it was the client side.
Okay, we did. Here's client session. All right, so let's. Okay, so client session. Express session is more abstract. Client session, wait, this is the exact same cookie session. That's the exact same answer. Like it's copied and pasted, except somebody put client session in here instead of cookie session.
There is no client session package.
Oh, there is no client session package?
Oh, okay, well, I gotta what it's called. Back.
Okay. Okay, so this is if we want to trust Pablo, Pablo says, do not use express session unless you really know what you're doing. In any other case, use cookie session. All right.
Simple and enough for this.
So can I make one devil's advocate argument?
Please, yeah.
Passport is designed to work with express session. It's going to be
Passport,
if you need a
okay.
third-party package to connect to cookie session to passport, it makes it messier.
Okay, all right, so arguments, if people like pro-con lists. All right, so cookie session, simpler. Pablo tells us to use it. Okay, express session is more complicated on the outset. You can store in DB or not, other places other than memory, and easier to work with Passport, according to James.
So yeah, if we do go is the
Got it.
Client sessions with an S is the one.
Client sessions with an S.
But it sounds like express sessions is better.
All right. Oh no, not OAuth. Okay. OAuth should be one of those things that you just like see it and your skin starts to crawl and you run the other direction. Okay. Express session is this person's go-to. That's it. Okay. If all you want is to set a client cookie that will enable the server to correctly authenticate future requests, Express session is awesome. Okay, so who's this? This is Huston or Houston. That person says that Express session is awesome. Okay, but we don't have any information on what client sessions actually is. It's middleware that implements sessions tamper-free cookies. It is not recommended using both this middleware and Connect's built-in session middleware. I don't know what that means, what Connect's built-in session middleware is. All right, so Francois, in 2012, okay, at least Pablo was like a month ago. Wait, this isn't even, I clicked the link and this doesn't even have client sessions in it anywhere. Oh, no, I misspelled it. My bad. Okay. Node client sessions. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, so this is client side. So okay, so here we're saying if you have distributed servers, so like a load balancer, then you're like using client side sessions is more robust. So this is all talking about scaling. It's sort of more scalable because you can add more web servers. How many web servers do you think are going to be serving Rome? Just out of curiosity. Express sessions it is. No, we can vote. Okay, so the options are client sessions, express session, and cookie session. All right, this is going to be a complete democracy. So, cookie session.
Well, I was kind of confident that if we are really going to use Passport, and I wanted to see that Passport is based on it.
Yeah, Passport, and in fact, it actually tells us to use Passport. Okay, all right. Does anybody want to argue for anything other than express session? Okay. All right, express session it is. Okay.
If we use Passport, then there's no need to install bcrypt.
Oh, good question. I don't know. I don't know anything about Passport. Was it client sessions? Okay, all right. Let's do some research on that. Ooh, Passport photo near me. Okay. Passport. Simple, unobtrusive. Okay. Wow, this is Jared Hansen. It's super stylish. Okay. There are 480 strategies. All right, I'm already overwhelmed. Okay, it's authentication middleware for Node. It's designed to authenticate requests, modern web applications, OAuth. Passport recognizes that each application has unique, strategies. Authenticate. We're probably going to be using local and I see, and then we can do this redirect stuff. Okay. Code does not have to be complicated. Let's authenticate, but I mean, how does it actually authenticate? Like, do we still need to, has anybody used Passport before? It sounds like you have, James.
A little bit. You do still need bcrypt
to store, to hash the password, to store it in the database.
Just as like abstracting all of like, it's making it so that you don't have to go into each route and be like, if root.session.user, then
Oh,
just
got
run
it.
as middleware before all of your routes.
Okay, so you could write your own middleware to handle authentication, or you can use Passport. Okay. Okay, got it. Okay, so, and it looks like Passport is particularly useful if you're doing OAuth and you're using Facebook's authentication or Twitter's authentication or whatever. Okay. Okay, so
Why do you not like OAuth? Really is this thing.
yeah, no. It's a pain in the ass. It's generally pretty difficult.
It's just like bad dogs, or just the way it's
You have to do this whole dance of exchanging tokens and cookies, and you not cookies, sorry, exchanging tokens, and you have to, the way you do OAuth is you have to make it possible for, on your application, for the user to log into Facebook or Twitter or Google, and it's very complicated. I've never seen it just be like smooth and easy. It's just complicated. Yeah. Yeah. So when people at Hackbright would ask for help with OAuth, I'd, like sort of grit my teeth and, like help them very grudgingly. Yeah. Cause it usually meant like a couple of hours of painful, like, dealing with stuff. Yeah. And I actually tried to work with Miles and Emma on some OAuth stuff for Fitbit. And after working with them for about half an hour, they were basically like, go away, you're not helping. So, yeah. All right. Okay, so let's go back to our planning. I think we are ready to start data modeling, which makes me really happy. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I haven't used Passport before, but for the using it express session, if we want to like store a session data in the database, I think we need one more package.
Right. That weird package that Mateo and I found a bug in, actually. Yeah. Express PG simple. Connect PG simple. Yeah. Yeah. We actually went into he was having a problem, and we actually ended up going into the source code for that, and we found a bug. Yeah. So.
I haven't looked at it yet, but apparently Miles like made his own, so he doesn't have to use Connect PG simple. He said it actually wasn't that hard. So.
I imagine it's not, but he should publish it, and then nobody would ever have to use Connect PG simple again. Okay. Great. Okay, we're never gonna finish this thing. All right. Okay. Let's do some data modeling. Yes. Okay. So I actually recommended this to James because he said he was going to, you wanted to make an ER diagram. Did you use it? Isn't it nice? Okay. So this one is actually nice if you've already made your database. Did you use it after having already made your database, or did you? Okay. Yeah. No, start with it now. But if you've already made your database, it has a command that you can just run in your database, and that command will give you some output, and then you upload the output, and then it just makes your diagram for you. Yeah. So if you have an existing database and you want a diagram, that's really great. But for now, we're going to create we're going to do our data modeling through this, and I never remember what it's called. Do you remember what it's called? Yeah, there we go. Lucid chart. Okay. Diagrams done right. Okay. I'll log in. I have no idea. I think I used my Learner's Guild. I don't think that that was very good UI design, where I had to I had to put in my email address, and then I had to click a button and then put in my password and then click another button. Bad design. Okay. So, I'm on the free plan, which means I can only do a certain number of like documents at once. So I just have to keep reusing my documents. Okay, yeah. So here I did this ERD import from an existing thing, and notice like it actually made it not only made all of my diagrams, but if I just like put this here and then I put flights, it actually does the connection for me. And and it says this is the primary key, and it says these two are foreign keys, and it does these two as passengers, right? So it's like it's really nice. Lucid charts. Yeah, great question. So if I go to ERD import, let's all right, let's do I'm gonna see if I can make a new one, if they'll let me make a new document. Oh, okay, great. So I'm making a new document, and so when you do the new document, I'm doing a blank ERD. I don't remember. Let's just do blank ERD. Let's not do data flow because I don't think we need that. 9:54. We are really never going to finish this thing. Okay. And then here, in its entity relationships, you can do import, and then it says automatically create diagrams. And so you do import your database, and then you choose Postgres, you copy and paste this into your Postgres, and then you upload the results, and then you get your tables and all the connections. It's pretty exciting, right? Yeah. Yeah. You okay, well now you know. You do not have to. Okay. Okay, so but we're actually just going to make some tables. So here's a table. And can I make this bigger? Yeah. No. How do no there I okay, whatever. Okay. So what tables do we need? All right, screw you. I'm gonna do this in we'll make this ERD the easy way. Okay. So what tables, so I'm going to actually save this now. Even though we're just doing data modeling, I'm going to make a new folder called source. I'm going to make a new folder called data, and I'm going to save this as schema.sql. This is really just brainstorming, but we'll brainstorm on here. So what tables do we need? I'm just going to make a bunch of these. Okay, users. What else? What else? What else? What else? Ooh, I don't like the fact that that's blue. Blue makes me think it's a reserved word. I'm going to call it user sessions. What else? Oh, does it have to be called something very specific for PG Connect Simple? Look at PG Connect Simple. Oh. Oh, I see. You actually have to, it actually makes its own table. So, nope. All right, what else do we need to store? Yeah, Jen? Oh, if we want to. Okay, for PG Connect Simple. Okay, great. All right, good to know. Let's just go with the default for that. All right. Is there anything else we need? Okay. Do we need any join tables? Are any of these many to many? Can a comment be associated? I know that a post can have many comments. Can a comment be associated with many posts? No. So we know that we're going to have post ID here, but it's not a many to many, it's a one to many. Each post can have many comments, each comment only associated with one post. What about posts in cities? Cities can have many posts. Can a post be associated with many cities? What about users in cities? Point. Okay. Can a post have many users? That's crazy talk. Can a comment have many users? Okay. Users in cities. If we put user ID here, would we be screwed? Yeah, city can have more than one user or be associated with more than one user. If we put city ID here, would we be screwed? I'm going to call this primary city ID. Because this is actually, the relationship between users and cities is actually somewhat complicated. A user is going to have a primary city, but a user can also have a list of cities that they've commented on. Now, perhaps that list of cities that they've commented on, we can get from the posts table and we don't need to store anywhere else. We don't need a user cities table. This posts, in effect, is like a user cities table. Right? It has both the city ID and the user ID. Oh, God, data modeling is so fun, but it's time for check-in. So